Hey all, Skylaros here. Welcome to my first YouTube video. It'll probably be a little rough, but hopefully I'll improve quickly. Thanks for dropping in, and let's get to it. There are three universal truths in PC gaming. First, if you have a gaming laptop, someone will appear to tell you to use a desktop. Second, if you're enjoying your Alienware, someone will appear to tell you how much they hate them. And third, if you play Star Citizen, someone will appear to tell you that it's a scam. I wanted to start off by offering my newcomer's perspective on Star Citizen, an attempt to answer the question, is it worth playing in 2021? If you're anything like me, I always thought of Star Citizen as this nebulous game. It seemed very arcane and out of reach. I had heard about the concept, which seemed exciting, but with that came a host of negative reviews and comments about how the game will never be finished and isn't playable. To top that off, I knew there was some sort of pledge requirement for gaining access. It just all seemed so far off and unreachable. I even tried it a year ago on a free fly event. Waking up in my virtual bed with no instructions, I never even got to my ship before I gave up and decided this probably isn't the game for me. Recently, I had the itch for a decent space game, and I decided to investigate more. So I wanted to give my perspective as a total newcomer to the game, knowing practically nothing about it before jumping in. What I found is that yes, it's very playable, and what's more, it totally hit all of the checkboxes I was looking for, once you spend time to master the considerable learning curve that is. Unique ships, space flight and combat, space legs and first-person shooter combat, it's all there. Not to sugarcoat it, it's still alpha and far from done. You need to temper your expectations and make sure you know what you're getting into, which is what I'll attempt to show you in this video. You will encounter bugs. You will need to reset your character from time to time. You probably will get disconnected. If these are things you can't deal with, it's probably best to stay away for now. But if you go into it knowing that this is the case and can deal with these inconveniences, a whole new experience unlike anything else out there awaits. If anything, its main failing is in having too grand of a scope. At current patch, there's only one star system to explore, but 3 more systems are scheduled to be added in a near release date. Each planet in the system has a variety of explorable moons, making each planetary area feel distinct and giving you lots to do within each one. Sometimes this game is compared to Elite Dangerous, which literally has millions of star systems in comparison. However, what it lacks in width, it makes up for in depth. This game is beautiful. I dare even say special. There is something completely evocative about taking the time to master how to fly and take into the skies, to find your own destiny out amongst the stars. However, once it clicks, there's no game that can give you that Firefly feeling of being in command of your own ship and your own destiny. The different locations each have a distinct and unique feel, with attention to little details that leave you really wanting to take your time and explore just to take in the sights. Each ship is unique, and you can walk around in them, which really lends itself to the experience. You won't be great at it at first. Your first few times out, you will crash. Frequently. Over and over. Let's talk about ships, arguably the soul of the game. You can acquire ships through 2 primary methods. You'll buy one with your starter pledge, choosing from the base package starting at $45, and going all the way up to the thousands. You can buy new ships with real-life money, or earn money in-game to either rent or buy ships, which is probably going to be your primary method. Each ship is unique, and they range from either having a single cockpit to large ships that you can walk around in, complete with living quarters, cargo space, beds, and yes, even toilets. Some of these have multi-crew options such as gun turrets and co-pilot roles. If your ship has a bed, you can log out anywhere you find yourself without the need to come back to a station. These differences really lend themselves to the fantasy of owning your own ship. Each one also has a unique cockpit and interface. For instance, here's my Asperia Talon, a reverse-engineered alien ship for human use that differs completely from my main Cutlass Black featured in the rest of this video. Both the interface and the computer voice really hit home that this isn't your run-of-the-mill fighter. Everything about the ship, from its wings to the cockpit interface to the way it handles, really reminds you of its origins when flying it. It's a completely different experience than flying my Cutlass. You can always upgrade your starter ships to a different version by spending the difference in cash. For this reason, I suggest buying one of the cheaper base pledges to see if you like the game. There's a 14-day refund, so if you don't like the game, you can always refund it later. However, should you wish to upgrade to a grander ship, and believe me, you will, the option to upgrade to the difference will be available to you. I would just caution you, because I'm not going to lie, the temptation to spend a lot of money is there. Fortunately, as I said, you can buy everything with in-game credits as well. Each ship is customizable with a host of weapon loadouts and other components to really make your ship and build unique in your own. For you min-maxers, third-party tools exist to help you figure out which weapons will give you the best DPS, as well as where to find them. You'll definitely want to upgrade your ships because the default loadouts that they come with are often subpar, but it gives you a reason to spend all that hard-earned space cash. FPS combat is also an option, but honestly, I've spent so much time exploring and learning ship-to-ship combat that I haven't even touched that option yet. In terms of what to do in the game, there are many different career paths for how you choose to spend your time in the verse. One can get lost simply exploring, and quite frankly, flying your ship is a joy in and of itself. One of the first missions that is suggested to newcomers is delivery missions, which sounds pretty mundane, but they're actually a great way to learn the mechanics of the game and help you to see the sights. They're oddly satisfying in and of themselves. Once you're feeling braver, bounty hunting becomes a great option. The space combat is surprisingly fun, and at the current time a very lucrative way for beginners, or anyone else for that matter, to earn credits. It's even better if you have a stick setup for extra immersion. I found after experimenting that rather than the standard HOTAS, a HOJAM, or hands-on stick and mouse approach, lends a better compromise between immersion and fine control. This is basically using one joystick for thrust and a mouse for directional. Here's the setup I use. I plan to do a video on it in a later date. For miners, an activity which I've come to enjoy, there are a host of mining options. After you get some delivery missions under your belt, you'll probably want to set out into a cave and start searching for your valuable minerals. This is mostly a solo-based activity, though it's not entirely uncommon to run into other players in these caves. Much like delivery missions, this can lead to a relaxing and serene, if not slightly creepy experience, when you find that a few hours have passed while you're mining away underground on a far moon somewhere. You might even run into someone who wasn't so lucky down there. After you get the hang of hand mining, you can mine with vehicles on the planet's surface, and later there's asteroid mining, complete with specialized ships that require a mining crew of friends. Trading and salvage are also options, but the truth is I haven't gotten that far myself yet. Now let's talk about the cons. When I first bought this game, I submitted my ticket for refund the first day. It just so happens that on that first day I logged in, there were server problems, and I couldn't play for more than 20 minutes at a time, and believe me, it did not leave a good first impression. Thankfully, before my claim was processed, I really had the urge to go back and give it one more try because from what I had seen, albeit frustratingly, I really enjoyed the core gameplay and was craving it again. Thankfully, the server problems were fixed. I think I've had a total of 2 disconnects in the week since then. The specter still looms though, and I'm always aware that this could change at any moment. One point that is often used by critics is that it's been in development for many years and still in alpha, with no signs of when it'll ever release. That's a fair point. Every patch brings with it some new content to varying degrees. Going back to my newcomer's perspective, what I've seen so far has given me enough content to enjoy that I've nowhere near scratched the surface. I feel I've already gotten my money's worth out of my initial pledge, and I look forward to being a part of the community to see how it develops as we go forward. I've had to reset my character twice now due to game-breaking bugs that impeded my ability to play. You do keep your ships in cache, so don't worry if this needs to happen. It does reset your quest progress though. As of this recording, the upcoming patch will bring dynamic player events as well, which I'm really looking forward to. Make no mistake though, you are volunteering to participate in an alpha. Many people would not want to spend money on an experience like this. Quite frankly, I wouldn't blame them. However, going back to the first few moments of this video when I said that prior to playing it, it seemed nebulous to me, now I can say with certainty that it is a playable experience, and one that I personally enjoy and plan to continue to enjoy. I think one of the highest praises I can give it is that at the end of the night when it's time to log off, I'm genuinely sad to leave. That being said, my feeling is that if you know what you are getting into, and go into it with the mindset that you absolutely will run into problems, the fun that can be experienced in the meantime is, to me anyway, absolutely worth it. When I joined, I was of the mindset that my pledge money was a gamble, and I was fully prepared for it to be potentially wasted. Customer service did eventually get to my refund ticket in 3 days, but by that time I was hooked and asked to cancel the refund in the end. I found this was a world that I really wanted to spend time in. The beginner experience is not well explained in the game. You absolutely need to look up almost everything in the beginning. It's my plan to put out a beginner's guide weekly on aspects of the game, so please check back if you like this first video. Maybe give it a like and a subscribe to get me started. It'd be appreciated. So, in answer to the question posed in the thumbnail, is Star Citizen worth it in 2021? The answer will really depend on the individual. I can't tell you yes or no. I'm not trying to convince you to get the game actually. Everyone needs to make that decision for themselves. But hopefully the information I provided, along with my fresh perspective, will give you a starting point in making that decision. If you do decide to take the plunge and found this to be useful, go ahead and use my referral code by using the code on the screen or by clicking on the link in the description, which will take you right to it. It'll start you with 5,000 free credits in game, which can be useful in getting you some starting equipment. While you're at it, send me a friend request, and I hope to see you on the skies.
The hell do you want?